Happy Friday. We had a winning night last night until we didn't. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we have made it to March 1st. That's right. And it was quite the interesting night last night in the NBA. You heard it in the cold intro. There was a 10-minute span where I was jacked up. We had another winning night. We keep rolling. And then a stat correction changed Jimmy Butler 4 assists down to 3, which moved him from 11 RAs down to 10. I hate that they can just do that whenever they want. I'm assuming it's on the Bam Adebayo assist, which I did not see sometime in the fourth quarter, but that was absolutely brutal to lose on a stat correction. I'm sure we've all been there before, but that's how close it was to another great winning night. Anyways, we'll go over all that later, but it's a new month in the NBA. Let's start it out strong and end the week strong as well. Before we get into anything, we got a new Jabo MVP, so let's pull it up. There it is. Welcome to the club at Eric Thigh 2843. We appreciate your support. And if you want to join him in the club for Jabo MVPs, it's only $2.99 a month. You get prioritized replies, shout out in the videos, and some badges and emojis, which we will be updating soon. So we appreciate it. It's just a little token to say thank you for all the work we put in, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And thank you for everyone who has joined the Jabo MVP Club. So we're gonna get right into it today. We got a big show for you, and it starts with two dad jokes. So here we go. The first one: when is the best time to call your dentist? Tooth hurty. That's not too bad. My wife's a hygienist. She would like that one. And then here's the next one. Why shouldn't you tell jokes to a duck? Because they'll quack up. That's a good one. Anyways, all right, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, and then it's the center position day, so it's defenses that give up the most points, rebounds, and assists to the center position. And then it's Friday, and we do it every other Friday where we are going to take a peek inside the lines and talk against the spread and over under teams. And then I'll give you my best bets and we end it with the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are getting closer and closer to 21,000 subscribers. You guys are freaking awesome. Let's get into it and talk some basketball. And it starts with the recap. All right, the first bet was a nice, kind of easy winner, honestly. The Warriors -3.5 started out up 14-0 in that game. The Knicks did cut it, I think, to like 3 at one point in the second half. But then the Warriors pulled away, won by 11, I believe. So that was a nice, easy winner, whether you got a 3.5, 4, 4.5, it did not matter. And Jalen Brunson played too. So the next one, Damian Lillard, 6+ assists, Jalen Johnson, 8+ rebounds. That was just a terrible bet, I guess. That's my fault. Lillard got 2 assists. Just I don't even know what to say, guys. This guy's getting like 7+ every game. He averages 6 or 7 a game, and he got two. He got two. I don't whatever, but it didn't matter because Jalen Johnson got 5. Make that make sense. Again, trying to predict blowouts is another thing that is just impossible because that was a 1 or 2 point spread, and the Hawks got blown out of the water by the struggling Brooklyn Nets. And then the third one, the one that changed us from a winning night to a losing night. If you just saw the box score at the end of the game, you think, "Oh my gosh, that sucks. He lost." It could have very easily been 11. But if anybody has a reason as to why this got stat corrected or what play it exactly is, leave a comment below. I'm going to probably try to research it and look it up too, but it just happened right before this video. Over 10.5 RAs. Like I said, he got 11. He got his 11th with, I don't know, halfway through, no, maybe like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, something like that, close to there. And then me and Ryan are jacked up, ready to go. And then all of a sudden, I'm just following it on my phone, last few seconds, and it goes from 4 to 3 in assists, and my heart is broken, just absolutely broken. And it got stat corrected to 10. So, winning night turned to a losing night, but it happened. So we move on. Long shot play of the day sucked again, but it was only a quarter unit, not a big loss. But Dorian Finney-Smith just didn't get it done. He got 3 rebounds. He sucked. That was just a weird game. That Nets Hawks game was a blowout, and it just sucked. But either way, I'm ready to improve from that. I'm gonna bounce back. I'm not gonna let the Jimmy Butler one affect me too much. So overall record 143 and 137, up 5.52 units. Could have very easily been up over 7 units right now, but that's all right. So that's the bets recap. And before we get into the best bets, let's talk some centers. All right, there it is. The defense is giving up the most points to the center position. And the only matchup we have is the Blazers versus Jaren Jackson Jr. But right before this video, I saw Jaren Jackson may not play. So keep that in mind. If he doesn't, then obviously we have no matchups here. But still, this can help you through the weekend. Jazz giving up the most points to the center position. And you got the usuals, the Anthony Davises, Jokic, Porzingis, Wet Bananas, all those guys, so on and so on. So that's the points. Take a screenshot. Let's check out the rebounds now. We got two matchups. The Memphis Grizzlies on the other side of that same game facing DeAndre Ayton of the Blazers. And there's a chance Ayton doesn't play too, guys. It's the NBA. I can't keep up, but it is what it is. Obviously, if he doesn't play, then that matchup means nothing. And then the Cavaliers facing Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons, who is averaging 12.2 rebounds per game in the last 30 days. Cavs giving up 15.41. You might be surprised by that. And a little sneak peek, we will talk about that one later. So that's the rebounds. Let's check out the assists now. And the only one again is Blazers versus Jaren Jackson. So nothing big there, especially if he doesn't play. But Pacers giving up the most up there with the Pistons, Wizards, Bucks. And then other than that, not any real surprises up there. It's just crazy to see what Bananas up here. He is so young and he is dominating the NBA. He is just an unbelievable player. And then you got the Steiner down there at 3 assists per game. But anyways, that's the points, rebounds, and assists to the center position. And before we get into the best bets, let's take a peek inside the lines. All right, this first page gives you the 10 best teams in the NBA against the spread. And if you're new to this, the ATS plus minus, as you can see over there on the right, is the average amount of points the team covers the spread by, just to kind of give you more of an idea. But against the spread, Orlando Magic leading the way. That's right. Good teams win, great teams cover. The Magic are leading the way with the Thunder, Warriors, 76ers, so on and so on. Warriors have really made a jump. I mean, they're an absolute roll. But the highest ATS plus minus Thunder against the spread, 37, 20, and 1, and covering the spread by 4.6 points per game. So hopefully it just gives you a little sneak peek as to who's been good against the spread this year. And then let's go to the next page. We got the best over and under teams in the league. And speaking of Thunder, they are the number one over team in the league, 32, 23, and 3. And the total plus minus is the same kind of thing. That's how many points they've gone over the total by. So plus point 0.5, only a half point. There's not really any big ones. Jazz are the biggest one at plus 3.5. But yeah, those are the biggest over teams in the NBA right now. And then the under teams, the defending champions, Denver Chicken Nuggets, 22 and 37, which means they have gone under in 37 of 59 games. And the minus is the same thing. It's just minus means under, obviously. So Grizzlies have the highest minus number there, going under totals by 3.8 points per game this year. But yeah, obviously you got the Heat, the Knicks, Clippers. Not any real surprises. Grizzlies because they can't score, and so on and so on. So, anyways, those are the best over under records and against the spread. Hopefully, it just kind of helps you out. Just something good to have. We try to do it every other week because you don't need it every week. Not much changes. But anyways, that's what we got for Inside the Lines. And now it's time for the best bets. All right, this segment is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bets. That's BTR Bets. It's the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. The link is below. Go check it out, and we will have more in a video explaining how it works. But it is freaking awesome if you want to keep track of all your bets and everything you've placed every day, every week, month, year, everything like that. So, anyways, this first bet takes us out to Detroit, Michigan. We got the Pistons hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers -9, total in this game 221.5. I'm not going to go over ATS and all those numbers because we just did a lot of that earlier. So, best bet in this game, maybe my favorite play of the day. Give me Jalen Duren over 12.5 rebounds plus assists at -120 on DraftKings. Duren, baby. He has been a beast on the glass lately in his last 5 games. How about this? 15, 20, 14, 15, and 14 RAs. So going over pretty easily in 5 straight games. Now he's facing the Cavs. As you saw earlier, not as tough of a matchup as you would think. Cavs giving up the 7th most rebounds in the last 30 days, like you saw. In the last 15, because you might think, well, they got Mobley back, all that. Last 15 days, they've given up the 2nd most rebounds to the center position. So it hasn't been better. It's actually been worse. Duran, in 2 of his last 3 games, he just faced 2 much harder teams matchup wise for the center than the Cleveland Cavaliers. He faced the Orlando Magic. They are giving up the 2nd fewest rebounds to centers in the last 30 days. He had 11 rebounds and 3 assists for 14 RAs. And then he faced the Knicks, who are giving up the third fewest rebounds to centers in the last 30 days, and he still had 16 rebounds and 4 assists for 20 RA. So even in tough matchups, that's why I'm bringing it up, because in tough matchups, he's still gone over this, and now he has a better matchup than that. But he's averaging 19.2 rebound chances per game in the last 5 games. That's the ninth most in the NBA. This guy's just an absolute monster. 19.2 rebound chances, guys. Averaging 11.8 actual rebounds per game in the last 5 games. If he gets us 12, I mean, we're good. We should be pretty solid. He's gone over this in rebounds alone in 2 of his last 4 games. He's averaging around 4 assists per game in the last 5 games. So he's actually adding quite a few assists as well. He's always capable of getting 0 or 1, but lately it's been right around that 3, 4 number. And he's played 30 plus minutes in 7 of his last 9 games. So that's good to see. What we need here is a good competitive game, because it's the Pistons. You never know. But honestly, I lean Pistons +9. I think it's a lot of points. Cavs are a solid team, but could it be a little minor letdown spot possibly after that last game? But the Pistons have been pretty competitive lately. So as long as they can keep it somewhat competitive, Durant will get his 30 points or 30 points. He'll get his 30 plus minutes in this game. And if he does that, I like him to go over yet again. I think this line should be 13.5 to start at least. So this is my favorite bet of the day, probably. So give me Jalen Duren over 12.5 rebounds plus assists as my first best bet. All right, here's that sweet promotion with DraftKings. We haven't talked about it a little bit, but this is probably my favorite one out there right now. It is a no sweat first bet up to $1,000 for new users, and you get a bonus bet in your amount of original wager if that first bet doesn't hit. So, guys, you could bet $1,000. If you lose it, you're going to get the $1,000 back. You can put it on a nice parlay, just take a chance. It's an incredible deal if you ever just wanted to make a huge bet and not have to worry about if it loses as much. This is a great deal. All you gotta do is click that link below, and sign up, and then deposit some money and put your first bet in, and you get that first bet back if it loses. But you're not gonna lose, because that's the confidence you gotta have, right? This is all thanks to our partnership that we have with OddsShopper. You must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And also a quick reminder, it is coming soon to North Carolina. That's right. More on that next week. But now it's time to get back to the bets. All right, before we get into my second best bet, in the middle of recording this video, I was able to go find a video of what I think was Jimmy Butler's assist that got taken away, turned a win into a loss. I included the link below in the description. Go check it out. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, if that is an assist or not. But let's get into bet number 2. 5-point teaser. Give me the Celtics -4.5 and the Pacers +10. And of course, FanDuel has the best odds, so give me that at +100 on FanDuel. Celtics -4.5. Let's start with that. Obviously, the best team in the NBA right now. I mean, that's a no-brainer. 9-1 in the last 10, and in those 9 wins, they are winning by an average of 18.11 points per game, just crushing teams. Luka is questionable. It's a nationally televised game. I think Luka will play, but if he doesn't play, this -4.5 is as good as gold, to be honest with you. But if he still plays, obviously, I like the 4.5. The Mavs don't really have guys that can slow down all these weapons. Let's be honest with you. I think Porzingis has a great matchup in this one against Gafford and Lively, stretching the floor, hitting threes. And I just don't think there's enough stoppers. I mean, Luca, Kyrie, these guys just don't have what it takes. I do like how the Mavs are playing. I'm not going to say I don't, because I have some futures on them. But in this matchup, in Boston, it's going to be tough. Last game against the Mavs, Tatum had 39, Jaylen Brown had 34 points. Celtics beat the Mavs by 9 in that game, and they did not have Porzingis as well. So I think the Celtics will be able to kind of do almost whatever they want in this on the offensive side, at least. Obviously, Luka could go off for 60, and this could be a very competitive game. But Lively and PJ Washington don't scare me when it comes to guarding Porzingis, especially at the 3-point line. And then obviously Derek White hitting threes. I don't mind Derek White's over 3-point prop either this game. But all in all, guys, I think that Luca looked a little tired, even though he's still playing well. He's kind of tired, and I can see this game getting out of hand kind of quickly. I think Boston's going to be ready to play at home, nationally televised. I just need them to win by 5. Obviously, I took it down 5 points. The line is at 9.5. I'm starting to see it at 10 now. So I mean, they're expecting a pretty big win by the Celtics. But anyways, give me a 5-point win. Second leg, Pacers +10. These two teams just played 2 days ago. Is the Pacers and the Pelicans, and the Pacers won 123 to 114. They had a 20-point lead actually in that game at one point. They outscored the Pelicans in the fast break 21-8. Not really surprised. Pacers get up and down. Pacers number one scoring team in the NBA. Um, Also, Pacers have played back-to-backs, obviously, like most teams have, and they played the Bucks back-to-back in a span of 3 days, and they beat them both times. So it can happen. I know it's kinda tough to predict the second game of 2 games in 3 days, but, I just think this could, the Pacers are a tough matchup. They get out and run, and they are tough to slow down. You don't want Zion and all these guys always just running to try to stop someone. You want Zion with the ball maybe running on offense, but, Miles Turner's a tough matchup for these Pelicans bigs, and I just think it's a tough one. Halliburton, you can stick your best defender on him. You can stick Herbert Jones, whoever you want, but then he'll just find everybody because that's what he does. He'll dish out some assists. He just had 13 assists. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the Pelicans do give up a ton of assists, the third most to the point guard position. But the Pacers better 3-point shooting team. To be honest with you, it's a close, evenly matched game in my opinion, and getting 10 points is just way too good to pass up in a teaser. So, and the only reason it's like this, I think, is because it's the second game of a back to back. I know it's in New Orleans, but the Pacers need to keep winning if they want to have that playoff push. So, give me the Pacers plus 10, the Celtics minus 4.5 as my second best bet and teaser for Friday. And now let's talk about the rest of the bets and leans. As of right now, it's almost midnight. I'm gonna give you 3 more leans coming up here in just a second. One of these or 2 of these might make the final bets. They might make it in the Friday parlay, but all these will be posted in the pinned comments below. I have a lot in my mind right now about what bets I like, which ones to pick, more research to do, but again, it's almost midnight. I'm gonna think much more clearly in the morning and give you some best bets, and, we'll get some winners, but I'm gonna talk some leans. So let's get into it. I got 3 that I really like. I'm not gonna lie, I do like these ones. So this first lean I have, it's Mr. Tyrese Halliburton, we just talked about, and Rudy Gobert each to get a double double. I got that at plus 115 on DraftKings. Halliburton, we already talked about. His assist line is about to move to 11 and a half. He just had 13 assists a couple days ago against the Pelicans. Pelicans give up a ton of assists. Halliburton a double double in 6 of his last 7 games, and starting to play big minutes again. So I like that one. And then Gobert double double. Man, oh man, is this guy a beast. He has a double-double in 9 of his last 10 games. He had a 21-17 line against Sacramento last game, and he's 2 for 2 in double-doubles against the Kings this season. It should be a pretty competitive game. I like Gobert to get a double-double. I like Hallie to get a double-double. I really just think all we need in this one is to make sure Halliburton gets 10 assists, and I don't think that's a problem. I think he gets 11 or 12, to be honest with you. So Halliburton, Gobert, double-double is one lean. The next lean under 223.5 in the Kings and T-Wolves game. Kings are one of the best under teams in the NBA on the road. We talked about it before. They give up more or they give up less points, play better D, they score less points. And then the T-Wolves themselves, they're at home and they give up the fewest points in the NBA at home. It's a good combo. And then we got De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Edwards, both questionable. I mean, I like this even if both play, but if any of those two don't play, or especially both, my goodness, this game could go way under. So I like the under 223.5 in that game. And then the final lean I have, Jason Tatum over 14.5 rebounds plus assists. Mavericks struggle giving up a lot of rebounds and assists to the power forward position. Tatum has been a beast, especially with assists lately, but he's over this rebounds and assist line in 7 of the last 10 games. In the last game versus the Mavs, he had 11 rebounds and 5 assists. So, those are my 3 leans. There's some other ones that are almost to this point, but I just haven't had enough time to research more. But like I said, I got those 2 official bets. I'm gonna add at least 1 more, maybe 2 more, plus a Friday parlay. So we got a lot to add, lot to get into in the morning. So check the pinned comments, check Discord, and check X. But that's what we got for the Friday show. Appreciate all the support this week, and let's check out the bets recap. All right, there it is. Jalen Duren over 12.5 rebounds plus assists at minus 120 on DraftKings. I dropped that on X already before this or during this video to make sure you guys could try to get that before the line moves if you want to tail it. And then a teaser Celtics minus 4.5, Pacers plus 10, plus 100 on FanDuel. So those are my 2 best bets for March 1st. Again, I am going to have more. So just stay tuned for that. Look forward to getting some winners. Let's finish the week strong and let's have a great March. But anyways, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Again, I appreciate all the support, every like, every comment. It goes a long ways, really helps us keep grinding away day in and day out. So Thanks again. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.